Let's cool things down a bit. Let's hope it's enough to keep the baths from boiling.
Fingers crossed. Mine. You shouldn't be fighting melee style, just push them in the water. They're made to dissolve. Well, they dissolve into, like, boiling water, which was kind of the problem that we came here to stop. I think my express goal was to not let them get into the water, Shroom. This is why I'm the alpha gamer, and Shroom is the funny chat guy. He does this funny chat guy bit well, though. I'm liking this enemy's name, the sulfur thing, burning blue, Yellowstone, very clever. Square Enix gets pretty clever with some enemy names here and there. You should have seen when I was fighting Liquid Flame, Shroom. You would have loved them. You did see Liquid Flame? Were you here for that? I'm not good at remembering things that involve my good friend Shroom Raver.
Come on, girl.
I just always assume he's never around and always around at the same time. It's a nightmare I live.
We should get going soon. Do you have water?
Do you have water? Good question.
There he is.
Schrodinger's
The
chat
man
member,
who
yeah.
Saved my business. I was hoping we'd be seeing you again. The baths grow more bearable by the moment. It won't be long now before we are back to business as usual.
I'm glad to hear it.
Now, tell me this. What did you find at the terraces? What threatened to make me a pauper?
Not what I expected, that's for certain.
That's not really an answer.
You tell a fine story. That's not to say I don't believe you, though. Creatures made of flame, eh? That's something new to worry about. But I burdened you with my worries enough already. Here, a small something by way of thanks. Right. It's high time I got back to work. With a little luck, the day might yet be salvaged.
Good luck to you, sir. Yo, 25 renown. We're over 350. So it should have been expanded. Reduces ignition cooldown. Don't care. Scarletite could be useful.
The, scrubbing is almost finished. We appreciate your patience.
Yeah. I'm not here for the bads. All right, let's go help this blacksmith wannabe get his quest done. Then we're going to jump back to the hideaway for a second and see what we got going on back there. You have a lot to say, it looks like?
You wish to talk? I'm honored. You and I
have more in common than you might think. Not only are we both masters of the blade and devilishly handsome to boot, but we are both the second people to bear our respective names. Okay, I thought so. I was gonna say earlier that whole thing about like the hair being a woman and then it actually being this guy. I was like, that's a weird one to go for. And I bet it was his mother. I don't think I actually said it out loud, but I was thinking it earlier.
What?
You didn't think Rosanna Dalamil was my own invention, did you? It was the name of my master. I inherited it from her along with her title and her smithy. Oh, so it wasn't your mother, it was just your master, actually. Interesting. Ensuring that her name lived on was the least I could do after all she did for me. She plucked me from the streets and put my less than nimble fingers to work, making blades instead of trouble.
Alas.
Alas, she was to leave my life as suddenly and unexpectedly as she had entered it. I swore to follow in her footsteps, that I might change others' lives as she had mine. That is why I keep her forge alive, why I play the desert hare, why I care for the orphans of Dalamil. Indeed, I had thought my obligations to Renz and Drika to be my most pressing concern. That is until the infamous Cid made a surprise reappearance. Rather muddied the waters. Still, I suppose there's enough of me to go around, but do forgive me if the desert hare isn't always at your beck and call, won't you? Yeah, seems fair. What about the inn?
Ours is a blessed corner of the Velcroy.
A veritable oasis with clear running water and natural hot springs. I don't doubt that people have been gathering here since long before the founding of the Republic. Since it was founded, they've been gathering in even greater numbers to serve the needs of the miners who work Drake's Fang and the soldiers who guard it. And serve them they did, lining their coffers far from the prying eyes and grasping fingers of the Republican excisemen, whatever that means. Not that edicts from Rondella carry much weight in these parts. Dalamil has long been something of a law unto itself. Here, those with the most money or the most friends make the rules. Oh, see, sounds neat.
At least they did.
Until Kupka built that castle of his at the heart of the Mother Crystal, Dalamil has been Titan's fiefdom since then. And while his men may be liberal with their coin, they are anything but in the exercising of their authority, which, as I'm sure I don't need to tell you, is absolute.
So
You see why those with the people's best interests at heart took it upon themselves to organize their own protection, my predecessor chief among them. And then what about the crystal trade?
how very fitting.
That the noble soldiers of Dalmekia and Waloed, partners in arms on so many battlefields, should also become partners in crime. Still, the merchants of Dalamil will be relieved to see them brought to justice. Many have been driven almost to ruin for want of crystal. I'm sure they would all be rushing to thank you for the service you have done them, if of course they had any idea what you had done. Of course, as long as we remain reliant on the power of the crystals, we leave ourselves open to such exploitation. But people are such greedy, needy creatures.
There's simply no other way.
No other way, Clive. You must bring down each and every mother crystal in the twins and put an end to the people's thoughtless dependence upon them. Do try not to disappoint me. Yo, I'm on it, brother. They will all be gone before you know it. All right, bud, what'd you figure out? I figured out that knives need to be sharp and not break. So, you know, if you didn't already know that, then you should try a new trade.
So, how'd it go? You learn anything useful, or should I be looking for a new trade?
Only that a blade should be durable and stay sharp. But I don't see how that relates to the Spirit of Dalimil.
I didn't have much luck either. All the cook said was that he needs his knives to be light. Too heavy and they do his shoulder in.
So we're no better off than when we started. Perhaps Lubor didn't mean anything with his Dalamil remark. But that can't be right. I've bandied enough words with the man to know that he chooses them carefully. No. We must be missing something. Something right in front of our noses, most likely.
No doubt you're right, but I have to make a start soon. I can't put off making this knife forever.
Agreed. Lubor wouldn't like that much.
Right. I've been trained to work iron. The cheap stuff, mind. But it's hardy enough if you don't hammer it too thin, and it sharpens up nicely with a bit of effort. Trouble is, it's either durable or it's light. Meaning someone is going to be disappointed. Forge Master Lubor, probably.
Is there no one else you can turn to? Someone who knows their metals, perhaps?
The other apprentices know better than to help me with my test. But maybe there is someone I could turn to. A merchant, a favorite of Forge Master Lubor's, who sells metals to tradesmen passing through the Valcroy. I bet she'd know a thing or two.
Something's gonna go wrong here. Something is gonna go wrong here. Is this the right way? Yeah. She's up at that little trading rest spot that we were at earlier. Bum, 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 bum. Caca! I can only imagine my uncle right now is like, you know that we like have to go kill Kupka before he recovers or anything, right? Like, we're kind of on a time crunch. I'm like, but uncle, look at all of the experience I can get. And then he's like, what do you mean by experience, boy? Do you not see the numbers, uncle? When they go up, I get a dopamine hit.
Any luck? Or will you be needing help with your bags?
Well, I asked her, but... you tell him.
If you're looking to make a knife that will impress a master like Lubor, there are options. They're just not that viable. Featherlight adamantite knives will get passed from generation to generation, never needing so much as a lick of the whetstone. But adamantite ore is unique to ash, so doesn't come cheap.
And it's beyond my skill to handle.
Unique to ash. Are there any materials unique to Dalamil? Something which could be mixed with iron to refine it. Make it lighter.
What are you getting at?
You said that Lubor trained you to work iron. Then that's what he'll expect you to use. But he would have known that it would either be too heavy or too brittle for a carving knife. Perhaps his Dalamil remark wasn't a riddle, but a hint.
If it's cheap metal you're using, then there's always limestone, I suppose. Folk first settled Dalamil to get at her mineral deposits. And, if you know the trick, it can be melted down in the furnace to drive out impurities from low-quality iron.
Bloody hell! That must be it! I don't suppose you know the trick, do you?
It's hardly my speciality, but I've been around enough blacksmiths to know how it works.
Looks like I've got some learning to do. Clive, I hate to ask after all that you've done for me, but...
The limestone? Fine. I can hardly abandon you now. Besides, I want to know if this is the answer to Lubor's little riddle.
I can't thank you enough, Clive. You'll have no trouble finding limestone over in the terraces. The place is bloody made of it.
Then I suppose I'll meet you back at the forge.
Right you are. I'll see you shortly.
Dude, I'm not a miner. How do I know how to effectively get this limestone? Oh my goodness, is this where the... Oh, it's just right outside that edge of town. That's not too bad. I thought it was going to send me all the way back to where I fought the bath bombs, which would have been a little annoying. We do have to... Yeah, I see now. I was about to be like, we do have to go through the town. We can't go around. Of course we can't, because that's why we had to get passage through the south gate. Also, I didn't realize that, you know, there was a huge jump right here. So we're going to get this. I assume this is going to be the end of this side quest. I want to jump back to the Hideaway if the game will let me, at least. And then after I do that, we'll look at our renown. We'll see if any new hunts have come up, and then we'll probably wrap up for today. I got like a little less than 10 minutes to go. We might swing around and look at one or two other things, but we'll basically wrap up at the Hideaway if we can go back there. Then when we come back next time, we go straight to Drake's Fang and see about putting an end to Kupka once and for all. Come here, limestone. Gimme. Mine. Yes, the spring lime. But what about the fall lime and the winter lime? And the lime in the good times and the lime in the bad times? That water looks so pretty.
Rock looks a lot like another. But hopefully this is what Sava needs.
That just makes me want to jump in, man. Such pretty water. Alright, Sava, I got you dang limestone. You better make this carving knife, and it better be amazing. And I better get a lot of renown and maybe even some AP out of this. You know, I wouldn't mind. You want to offer me some AP? I wouldn't mind taking some AP. Getting very close to upgrading my judgment bolt. Still have to master it after that, even. You have more to say now? This dude never shuts up.
What is it now?
Oh, never mind. He doesn't have anything new to say. I thought that because he had all the markers over his head that it was like, hey, I've got more to tell you. But nah, he's good.
I wasn't sure how much you'd need, but I hope this is enough.
There you go.
You are one of the good ones, you know that. You and that merchant both, she's got quite a gift for teaching that one. Now, time to see if limestone is the secret weapon we were hoping for.
Fingers crossed.
That'll do, I reckon. A knife forged from the very rocks of Dalamil. Her spirit, if you will.
It's a fine-looking blade.
I only hope Master Lubor agrees.
Did I really have time
That
to...
sounds like my cue. And just as well. I was getting tired of waiting.
I'm sorry, Forge Master Lubor.
Let's take a look then, shall we? First things first, Sava, do you think this is a carving knife worthy of the fine people of Dalamil?
I'd like to think so. But what do you think?
What do I think indeed? It's sharp-ish, but it won't last long with hard use. And it's heavy, heavier than it should be. You might not think it just to hold it for a moment, but sell that to a cook and you'll never hear the end of it. It looks like someone paid a visit to the terraces. The limestone was a step in the right direction, granted, but one that still leaves you short of the mark.
And I was so certain I had it all worked out.
I don't know who you found to teach you that little trick, but it certainly shows initiative. Next question. How much do you think I would charge if I'd made this?
Well, if it took you even a fraction of the time it took me, I would say you could demand a heavy purse.
And who would be able to pay that? The butcher? The hunter? The cooks over at the inn? Dalamil is home to humble traders, not wealthy lords and ladies. Rule number 1 in any business, Sava: know your customers.
Yes, Forge Master.
This is just about passable. But only just. I'd say you're worth keeping around a little longer. Starting tomorrow, you'll have an anvil of your own.
I will. Thank you. I was wondering, what would you do if you were asked to forge a carving knife?
I'd do what I always do. Ask who it's for. If it was for the butcher, I'd make sure it holds an edge. For the hunter, I'd make it as tough as Titan. For the cook, light as a feather. And for the nobleman, I'd make it cost an absolute fortune.
Haha. Clever.
There goes a master, all right.
It looks like congratulations are in order.
I couldn't have done it without you. So much for the Forge Master's riddle, though, eh? The Spirit of Dalimil had nothing to do with limestone or anything much at all. Meaning, I had you run around for no good reason.
You've passed your test. That's all that matters. You'll have a forge of your own in no time.
And when I do, I'll craft you the finest carving knife you have ever seen.
I think the spirit thing did have a meaning to it. The meaning was that you have to, like, the Spirit of Dalimil is, like, for the people of Dalamil. You have to get it, like, because he was like, oh, this costs too much. People of Dalamil aren't going to afford this. That's where you went wrong, buddy. That was what the riddle was getting at, I think. Roughly. I still don't know what goblin coins even do. Alrighty then, so there's all those side quests knocked out. Can I go back to the Hideaway right now? Will the game allow it? The game will allow it, so let's go back to the Hideaway for a bit. Take a quick swing around before we wrap up today. When we come back next time, we'll get back to the main mission to get over to Drake's Fang. Boy, howdy, those loading times are amazing.
Who's this blue blood?
I have a new letter to read, I think that said. Hold up a second. Oh, I'm gonna finish the job, don't you worry. He's not getting his hands back if I have anything to say about it. I'll take them again. Those are my hands now. A Desert Alliance, this must be from Lubor, or whatever his name was. Or Ruzena. What was his actual name? It was Lugor, right? Lugor, I think. Sid II, I trust you will forgive me for putting you and your dear uncle to the test. I'm confident that a man of your position can understand the importance of earning one's trust, especially in times like these. For what it is worth, you now have earned mine, and I can assure you it shall not easily be relinquished. May this be the start of a fruitful relationship. Ruzena. It was Lubor. I knew it was Lubor or Lugor. I just immediately it slipped my mind. Alrighty then. We do have a thing in the Moogle. That's the main thing I wanted to check. And apparently something new with Vivian. Oh, and I want to look at the Renown thing. The Renown thing is actually the main thing I wanted.
The little ones have been up to their old tricks.
The little one's been up to their old tricks. Yada, yada, yada. Alright, Vivian first. Least to most important order.
Ah, my favorite pupil.
Is it just the state of the realm is
What is it
different?
that you wish to learn?
All right, this thing existing is cool, and I like that it exists,
Very
but
good.
I'm not messing with it. I don't care that much. to go through it personally. It's nice that it exists for people that like it more, though. Hello. What's this new hunt? Just one new one? Just one new one. A hill to die on. Among Republican merchants reports a bound of caravans being crushed by a black boulder, a creature indeterminate in nature, but quite decided in size, strength, and spite. He or she who took it upon themselves to seek out and slay this black mass would earn the eternal gratitude not only of the desert traders, but of the curse breakers who risk life and limb with every trip through the Velcroy. And it's just it's just anywhere in the Velcroy desert. It doesn't say anything more specific than that, it looks like. This guy was 8 levels higher than me, but he was A rank. This thing's only B rank. We should be able to take on a B rank. That shouldn't be too much higher leveled than us. We might do that next time before continuing the main missions.
I wasn't expecting you back so soon.
Hello.
Here's everything we've received and everything promised.
Okay, so it's expanded, so now we get 800 ability points when we get to 410. That's only 40 away. Thank goodness. That is what I need right there. That is what I need. And then 850 renown expands even further. 800 ability points would hit so well right now because we're almost at 3,100, and I'm gonna like lose that 3,100 when well, not lose, but I'm gonna spend it. So this 800 will be a really nice pick-me-up after that happens. 2 meteorite, High Cleric's Medallion, could be good, could not be. And then this unlocks when we get to 850. Now it's a lot more spread out. We got a lot higher to go.
Come again. I may have more for you.
That 410 is the one that I really care about, and that one is just 40 renown away, so that's not too shabby at all. Let's, you know what? Go ahead and warp me back to the Dalamil Inn. So that way we're there for next time, and then I think we'll just wrap up right here, and when we come back next time, we'll head to Drake's Fang. We might go fight that unique enemy. We'll probably go straight to Drake's Fang, and after we deal with more of the main story, because I think I'd like to let the amount of hunts build up a bit. Maybe have like 2 or 3 hunts come up, and then we can do it, because it's somewhere in this desert. There's a lot of space. A lot of space. But we'll probably just focus on the main mission next time, and then worry about the hunts. Or hunt, rather. Hunt multiple, or singular or plural, however many we end up having. We'll worry about it next time. But let's go ahead and save the game. Great stream today. Final Fantasy XVI continues to be phenomenal. Just an amazingly fun game. I'm loving pretty much every second of it. And I am much looking forward to going even further. For those of you watching on YouTube, if you want to catch streams live, link to my Twitch channel description. I'd love to see you there. Or keep watching on YouTube. I appreciate your support either way. And until next time, farewell.